This is a very quick and dirty demonstration of sheet mulch composting or lasagna composting. The reason we call it that is because it's layer upon layer of organic matter, and when it breaks down, it creates a really nice planting medium. So you're hearing in this series suggestions of maybe doing with less lawn. And this is a perfect way to do that. You can create a nice garden space where you once had some grass. So you need to identify an area where you'd like this new planting bed. You would need 6 hours of full sun if you wanted a vegetable garden, or otherwise any other location is just fine. So we're going to start out, we've identified our patch of lawn, so you're going to use your imagination, and this blue is our lawn. You can mow it short, then add a layer of either cardboard or newspaper. We can get large pieces of cardboard from bicycle shops and furniture stores and mattress stores, things like that, and I'm sure they would be happy for you to help recycle their cardboard. So we lay that down first. If you have a good stack of newspapers, you can do this instead of cardboard. And you take your sections of newspaper, maybe 6 or so sheets thick, and don't use the slick ads, that part of the paper. So we will overlap these so that prevent the chance of grass from growing up in between. So here we go. Nice thick layer of newspaper. And once we have this taken care of, we want a layer of nitrogen. So I went out in my garden yesterday around my yard and snipped a bunch of things that I happened to see. A few leaves and spent flowers and a few little apples and things that I could find. So again, using your imagination, you can make this as big and thick, wide and tall as you want. So that is our first layer, which is a high nitrogen source. Now our next layer is going to be a carbon source, and I have a nice stash of leaves. This is the best time of year to do this kind of composting because you can begin it in the fall, it can break down in the fall and the winter, and it should be ready for planting by springtime. And there's plenty of leaves available. Actually, these are some leaves that I had collected probably last year. I had them just stashed away. So this is my nice next pile of carbon source. Okay. Now it's time for nitrogen. We're going to be using some coffee grounds. And my assistant, Gwendolyn, wave hi. Even though these are a brown looking material, they are very green, extremely high in nitrogen. So, adding these. You can get coffee grounds often from a local coffee kiosk. You can ask them and maybe give them a 5-gallon bucket, and they'll save their coffee grounds for a day or several days just for you. Okay. So, because I don't have a huge amount of these, I'm just going to do about that many. So imagine, again, it's totally covered. So my next will be a layer of carbon. I'm going to use shredded paper. Everyone has a lot of shredded paper. They don't know what to do with. So, this is my next layer. The thing about shredded paper, though, is that if you use a whole lot. You need to mix it in, and I'm going to add more coffee grounds because it can create paper mache when it gets wet. Just a little thicker layer to break down. So, we're adding more coffee grounds and just kind of mixing these things up. Okay. So, now I think we'll use some kitchen veg scraps for our next layer, which will be nitrogen. There's a few little coffee filters and coffee grounds in here. Just fine. And what we encourage you to do is use what you have available in your own yard. When you use kitchen scraps, we do want to caution you not to use meat or bones, oils, cheeses, things like that, which can, they take a lot longer to break down, but also they can encourage critters. And should you happen to have an issue with critters getting into things, perhaps just leaving out your kitchen scraps altogether. So next we're going to have another layer of, what shall we have? Oh, shall we use some of this sawdust stuff down here? So we've got some shavings from the wood shop, good source of carbon, and there we go, keep on going, layer upon layer. Another source, I think we're getting kind of up there on the limiting our materials. How about just a little handful of that straw to show? Yeah, this is a good source. Actually, it's hay, which shouldn't be any seeds. So we're going to use this in combination. This will be our total layer of carbon. And then one more layer of greens, which I think I have some veg. Do I not put more in that bag?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be getting toward the top here. You can make this as tall as you want. Use tea bags. There's just all kinds of things. You could even use some pet hair, a vacuum cleaner bag. Let's see, what else can we put in there? Dryer lint, things like that. And whoops. So now we're imagining this is maybe this high. So we're going to finish this up with a layer of carbon, and that will just tidy everything up. So we're going to use another nice bunch of dried leaves that we have. Okay, tidy this all up. Including a stick in there. It'll take too long to break down, at least for our purposes. So you can leave it just like this and let Mother Nature take care of it. I like to top it all off. I happen to have some burlap bags, and you can get these. You can get coffee bean bags from coffee roasters. You just call around, and they may either give those to you for no charge or maybe a nominal $1 or $2, but it tidies everything up. It also allows rain to penetrate and air to penetrate. So, Gwendolyn, have I forgotten anything? Not like I've gotten everything here. Well, great. So here is a very quick and very simple way of showing you how to sheet mulch for a new garden bed.